ETS Jets. What is going on, Jet fans? And welcome back to another episode of the Jets Ward. I am your host, Ryan Ward, and I'm so excited to be back with you guys. I got a fun one for you in this video. But first, if you have been here before, welcome back. You know I always love having you guys here in the Jets Ward. It is a safe space for you guys always when you return here, and I'm glad you keep coming back. It means that I'm making good content. It means that you're enjoying it, and that is something that I really enjoy and happy to do. If you are new here, welcome. You know I always love having new people here as well. You are always welcome, no matter if you're a Jets fan, a fan of another NFL team, or if you're just a casual NFL fan too, just enjoying a nice Sunday or Monday night game, or even Sunday during the day. No matter what, you are safe here in the Jets Ward. This is a great place for you to be, and I'm happy you're here. Now, getting into it, guys, training camp is right around the corner. We've been seeing workout videos for our favorite players coming around. We've been seeing people holding out for better contracts, which is kind of scary because there's a lot of good players still holding out from their teams. But there's also news recently that there are a couple people, former NFL players, eyeing a comeback. Some wanting to rejuvenate their career. They're still young enough to play and wanting to come back to the sport that they loved. Maybe some incidents happened where it just wasn't working out for them right away, but now they are in the right mindset. Others, they're older players that just want to go out on a strong note. Maybe they want to go back to the team that drafted them and just one more good season. I'm going to get into 4 guys that are eyeing a NFL comeback and where they could possibly fit. What would be the best situation for them? Now, getting into it, the first person that we are going to be talking about in the Jets board today is Chase Claypool. Now, this is an interesting name. The last team that he was on was actually the Bills. They picked him up, and he just didn't make the roster. And he's been out of the league since then. The last season that he played was in 2023, so a couple years ago. He's still only 27 years old. He's a bigger-bodied receiver. He wasn't the fastest, but when he was drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers, he showed some explosiveness. Like he was going to be the next best receiver for them. And they always drafted receivers really well. Chase Claypool was supposed to be that next one, but he was very immature. He cost the Steelers a game when he caught a pass, and instead of rushing the ball back to the line, he had to do his little pose for a first down and everything, and it made the Steelers run out of time, and they ended up losing the game. Chase Claypool was a very immature player. Now, at this point, after that happened, he was traded to the Bears, and he was okay, never the same since Pittsburgh, and ended up playing for the Bears and then getting traded to Miami later that season. And it didn't really work out. Like I said, the last year that he played was in 2023. He had 5 years experience up to that point. He played in only 12 games. He did deal with some injury issues. He had 8 receptions, 77 yards, 1 touchdown, and 9.6 average yards per play. Now, Chase Claypool is a very interesting player because he is the prototypical size of a receiver that you'd want. He is a possession type guy. He's not going to blow the doors off with his speed, but he had pretty okay hands. He was a decent blocker, and he was very tough to bring down with the ball in his hands. Problem is, where was his mind at? Now he's saying that he's fully good, fully matured, that he's ready for his comeback. Now, would you be comfortable picking Chase Claypool up? I think if you're a receiver-needy team, you might take a chance on him. Who knows? Maybe Pittsburgh could take a chance on him. I know there are other receivers out there in free agency that you can consider better, but Chase Claypool is younger than some of those guys and might have a little bit more upside. But where does he best fit? Honestly, I don't think a championship caliber team is going to pick him up. A team that might give him a shot would be a team like the New Orleans Saints, in my opinion. I think they might be the best fit for him, just to sign a 1-year deal with him, a prove-it deal to see, are you still good enough to be in this league? Honestly. So, yes, they have a rookie quarterback there in Tyler Shuck, who's probably going to be starting for them. They have Chris Olave, who's coming off many concussions last year. They have Shaheed as a receiver, too, who hasn't hit his potential yet. Give Tyler Shuck another weapon. Maybe Chase Claypool could become something, be the receiver that we thought he was going to be in Pittsburgh. Heck, Darren Waller retired last year from the Giants, and the Dolphins traded for him because they needed a tight end after they traded Jonnu Smith. They traded with the Giants, and now he is the starting tight end. Darren Waller is a starting tight end for the Miami Dolphins. Chase Claypool could be signed right off the streets, and who knows, maybe he could do something. And I think the Saints would be a great spot for him to go. Now, continuing on, getting into the next one. That was Chase Claypool. Getting into the next one, which is very interesting. Apparently, Rob Gronkowski is eyeing a comeback as well. This is an interesting one because he went off and actually had a decent season his last year in the league with the Buccaneers. Won a championship with them. Before then, came out of retirement a couple of times to play with the Buccaneers. He's 36 years old currently. He has 11 years experience. Last played in the league in 2021. He played in 12 games that season for the Bucs, had 55 receptions, 802 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 14.6 average. Now, what teams could be beneficial for Rob Gronkowski? He is a veteran tight end in this league. He's 36 years old. He's on the older side. It might be a one to 2 year deal for him, maybe most likely a 1 year deal. He's eyeing a comeback. The guy is still freakishly athletic and very, very powerful. He's had dealt with some injuries in his career, but a team that could use some more veteran tight end help would probably benefit from him. Now, would he go to a team that's not ready to win a championship? Probably not. So a team that's really, really low, like the Titans or things like that, I don't want to just call them out because there's other teams that are not ready to win a championship too. Who knows? My Jets, I don't think are ready at this point to win a championship either. There's a lot of things that we need to do. But I think one of those teams would be the ones who would go after him. I don't think the Chiefs would go after him. They already have Kelsey, who's getting older as well. They don't need 2 older tight ends on their roster. Eagles, they got Dallas Goedert, who they were trying to trade to get younger at that position as well. Could the Jaguars use him? Possibly. Their tight end room is really weak at this point, especially with Evan Engram not there. Honestly, I think the best fit could be the New York Jets. And the reason for that is we have a really young tight end room at this point. The room consists of Mason Taylor, Jeremy Ruckert, Stone Smart, and Donald Kuntz. Or Zach Kuntz. So there's a need for a veteran there. I've been pounding the table for them to try to trade for Kyle Pitts. But if Rob Gronkowski is honestly trying to eye a comeback, the Jets might not be the worst spot for him. He might actually come in and be able to help Mason Taylor grow along the way and become in as more of that blocking tight end as well, who can beat people up in the seam as well, who has great receiving ability. So I think the best spot for him, in all honesty, would be the New York Jets. And think about it too. The Jets don't have a bad team. They have Justin Fields at their quarterback who, it's up in the air to see if he can be a premier quarterback. I'm hoping he can. They got a solid defense, good defensive pieces. The offensive line is one of the better ones. Tight ends, we could use some veteran presence in there. And I think Rob Gronkowski, if he really is wanting to come back, I think the best spot for him would be the New York Jets. That's my opinion about that. A lot of people might say, no, why wouldn't he go back to New England or Tampa Bay to help out Cade Otton over there, which definitely could happen. But I think right now, the Jets would be the best spot for Rob Gronkowski. And it would be a very, very interesting move by the New York Jets too, because they did say they would inquire. They've gotten younger. That was one of their main things, but they would add veteran talent if they thought it could help the team. And I think Rob Gronkowski fits the Jets type of offense, that nasty, aggressive type of offense that they want to run. And he's a great locker room guy. He was never an idiot in the locker room. Yeah, he could be wild off the field, but he never did anything wrong. He was never a behavioral issue. Always did what he needed to do to help the team win. He was always a team-first guy. I think Rob Gronkowski would be a very good locker room leader as well in the Jets locker room, especially in that young tight end room. So the Jets, Rob Gronkowski, I think would be the best fit for him. Now, continuing on as well, we are going to get into my third player, and that is going to be Jason Pierre-Paul. he is an interesting one as well. He came out recently this past week and said that it would be dope, in his words, to return to the Giants for one last season, end his career where he started. And honestly, I think that would be a really cool story. I really do. But I don't think that would be the best fit for him. Before I get into where I think it would be, he's 36 years old, so he's on the older side. He played in the league for 14 years between the Giants and the Buccaneers. He played for the Ravens as well. And his last season, he played for one game with the Saints. And then he got picked up off the practice squad by Miami, never made a start for them. But his last season that he played was in 2023. He played one game, like I said, for the New Orleans Saints. Then he was snatched up off the practice squad by the Miami Dolphins, never played a game for them. He had one solo tackle, 0 sacks, 0 forced fumbles, and 0 interceptions. Jason Pierre-Paul is an interesting one. He's still a monster of a man, very big size. He can play defensive end with his hand in the dirt, or he can play outside linebacker as an edge rusher coming in. He could be a great rotational pass rusher. Something like a Dwight Freeney was at the end of his career when he went to the Cardinals. Could he go back to the Giants? I think that would be an interesting one. But the best fit for him, honestly, I think would be with the Eagles. They're looking for some more pass rushing help, and having a veteran presence like him in there could be very, very beneficial for him. Honestly, and it would give him a chance to win another ring to end his career and go off on a strong note. Go with the Super Bowl champions. You're going to have a great chance to win another Super Bowl because they do have a great team over there. So I think that would honestly be the best fit for Jason Pierre-Paul, going to the Eagles. I know it would probably hurt Giants fans just as much as when Saquon left to go to the Eagles, but Jason Pierre-Paul said he would want to play with them, but the Giants are so swamped at the defensive line and edge rushing positions with Abdul Carter. They got Brian Burns. They got Kayvon Thibodeau. They got Dexter Lawrence at defensive tackle. They have all these pieces already. Jason Pierre-Paul, I don't think would ever see the field really. So I think he'd have more of an opportunity, honestly, with the Philadelphia Eagles. And it would give him a chance to win another ring. So that's why I think the Eagles would be the best fit for Jason Pierre-Paul. And the last one, guys, honestly, this guy's been talked about eyeing a comeback for many, many years. And I'm honestly shocked that he never got an opportunity. That's Colin Kaepernick. And sorry, it says D end outside linebacker. I forgot to change that. But he is a quarterback. Colin Kaepernick is a very interesting individual because he only played in the league for 6 years. He last played in 2016, and he's been training ever since to try to get back into the NFL. He only played in 12 games for the 49ers. He had 2,241 yards passing. He was also a big threat on the ground running. He was one of the fastest and toughest quarterbacks in the league. He had 16 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, didn't turn the ball over very often. His QBR, though, was 49.2, which isn't great. He did have some miscues a lot and didn't have the most accurate arm. But he was dynamic as a dual-threat quarterback. He was looked at as being the next big dual-threat quarterback before we got Lamar Jackson. This was the guy who was looked like that. Now, with that being said, he hasn't played since 2016. And the reason for that is we all know he went on a movement to protest standing for the national anthem. He took a knee every time it played. And there were other players who did it too, but Colin Kaepernick was the face of that. And honestly, the Niners cut him, and I honestly think the league blackballed him, never wanting to sign him. Owners agreed not to bring him in. Now, I honestly think he was never really bad off the field. He was a great locker room guy. Honestly, I think a team should give him a chance. If you're desperate for a quarterback, if you need backup help, and apparently he's been training every single day to try to get back into this league, and he's been eyeing a comeback for many, many years. He's still doing it. I honestly think a team should give him a chance. Maybe the Niners. Maybe he can go back to the 49ers and be a backup to Brock Purdy. That could be a really good option. Maybe he could go to Pittsburgh and be a backup for them to give another stance to Will Howard to help him move his career along. Maybe not Pittsburgh. Maybe Baltimore would be a good backup place for him. There are so many teams that could use a valuable backup, but in all honesty, one of the teams that I really think could definitely use a player of his caliber as a backup QB could be the Arizona Cardinals. And the reason I say that, I know they got Jacoby Brissett, but Kyler Murray and Colin Kaepernick really have a very similar play style. Colin Kaepernick was a dual threat quarterback. Kyler Murray is a dual threat quarterback. I don't think you'd have to change the offense that much to, if Kyler Murray went down, to help Colin Kaepernick adjust. Honestly, I think the Cardinals would be a fantastic fit for Colin Kaepernick. But guys, that is all of my players that are eyeing an NFL comeback at this point. And honestly, I don't think all of them are going to get a chance. I doubt Colin Kaepernick is going to get to come back into the league. Jason Pierre-Paul, I think might. I think that's a big one. There's a player like Nyheim Hines who's trying to make a comeback as well, former running back of the Colts and the Bills. So honestly, I think some of these guys, I think Chase Claypool can get picked up. I think Jason Pierre-Paul could get picked up. Rob Gronkowski's a very interesting one too. Don't be shocked if he gets signed again. But Colin Kaepernick, I think, is a real big doubt. I don't think he comes back into the league. But guys, let me know what you think down in the comments. If you think, and if there's more players that are eyeing a comeback that I did not mention, could talk about RG3 as well, because apparently there was a video on TikTokers online somewhere showing him throwing the ball, and he still had some juice in that arm and some accuracy as well. But guys, let me know what you think about these guys eyeing a comeback. Do you think any of them make a comeback? Let me know down in the comments. And again, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out a lot. I really appreciate you guys. And thank you so much for joining me in the JETS Jets Ward. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one.